is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Black. We are South.
We welcome you to Turner Field, where tonight the Braves will try to keep Bryce Harper and the Washington Nationals under control. Chase Darno gets a start tonight. Freddie Freeman, Matt Kemp are ready to go as well. And so is Dansby Swanson. His third game in his young major league career is minutes away here in Atlanta. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to the ballpark. It is Hall of Fame weekend, and in honoring Andrew Jones and John Schuerholz, who are inducted into the Braves Hall of Fame today, it seems only fitting that the Braves bring back their #1 starting pitcher. Julio Teheran gets the ball, and boy, has he been missed.
Oh, I'll say, and how often has it ever happened this late in the season where two guys match up and have the exact same ERA, 2.81, a sub-3 ERA. One guy has 3 wins, and the other guy's got 13 wins. That just doesn't happen too often. So Julio's back in action tonight. We'll keep an eye on him to see how long he can go. Hopefully he will be very economical early on, and he can pitch deep in the ball game.
Julio Teheran is the last Braves starter to work more than 6 innings in a starting assignment. That was all the way back on July the 17th. Let's see what he has in store. He's a proud new papa, by the way. We'll talk about that tonight as we have lineups first pitch. Braves and Nationals baseball on a pretty night in Atlanta coming right up.
Sports and outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Back in Atlanta, just about set for the Braves and the Washington Nationals. And it is great to see Julio Teheran back in the Braves rotation. This young and inexperienced starting staff has certainly missed his presence.
And it's, like I said, pretty impossible to go 3-9 when you got a 2.81 ERA. But that's the case, and he's actually winless here at home as well. Since April 25th, he is has the 5th best ERA in baseball. 2.24. Kyle Hendricks leading the way for the Cubs. Outstanding work for Julio. Let's take a look at his 4 keys to pitching success. Number 1, as I mentioned, he's winless at home. 0-5, but another good ERA, 3.07. Let's put an end to that winless streak at home. And a lot of adrenaline. A, he's coming back from the disabled list, so he's going to be very fresh. B, as you said, Chip, he's a new dad. You know he's fired up about that.
Baby boy named Jordan was born on Tuesday. Mother and baby are doing great. Saw Julio before the game today, and as you can imagine, an ear-to-ear grin for the Braves' young pitcher. There's the Nationals batting order. Trey Turner will lead off. He has worn out Braves pitching with 9 hits in his first 19 at-bats against Atlanta this year, and he had a hit in Washington's win last night. And Julio's first pitch is in for a strike. .75 degrees, but it feels like 88, as humid as it is. A light rain shower passed through about 45 minutes ago, and the skies are cloudy, wind blowing across the diamond from left to right. Long first innings have been plaguing the Braves on this homestand. Long homestands by their starting pitcher, that is. And Turner rifles one into the left field corner. That's going to bounce off the wall on 2 hops. And Turner lost the helmet, but finds his way at the second base bag with a leadoff double for the Nationals. And here we go again.
Well, it seems like he hits a double or a triple leading off the game every time the Braves see him. And yes, he can run out from under his helmet. He's so fast. That looked like a pitch up and in. Well, it was up, not quite in far enough, and boy, can he hammer some high pitches. What a good-looking player Trey Turner is. Last year when we saw him late in the season for a few at-bats, he looked like a guy who just knocked the bat out of his hands.
Not anymore.
Nope.
So Ben Revere's the batter. He'll try at the very least to get Turner over to third base. And he's going to try to do that with a bunt, and it's going to be successful. It's sacrifice. Turner at third for Bryce Harper.
Julio's start in rehab for Gwinnett was against Louisville. He went 5 innings and only gave up 1 earned run. Did not walk a batter. Struck out 5. More importantly, 8 ground ball outs, no fly ball outs. 73 pitches, 51 strikes.
And now he'll match up with Bryce Harper, who has turned around their head-to-head matchup. You might recall the first few times Julio faced Bryce, he had very good luck against him. That's not the case anymore. Bryce Harper has 12 lifetime hits against Tehran, including 5 home runs.
2 of those this year.
So runner at third, 1 out. And a breaking ball in for a strike.
Julio's 3rd start of the year against Washington. The first 2, well, the first one wasn't too bad. Opening day, 6 innings, 2 runs, 2 homers. But on April 14th, right after that, 6 runs in 7 innings allowed and 2 more homers.
Julio with a long look in at Tyler Flowers. Harper reacted oddly at that pitch, which missed up and away. Even count. You look at Harper's overall numbers since the All-Star break. They've not been particularly good, but he is starting to heat up a little bit. He's got 7 hits in his last 6 at bats and has also walked 7 times. And if he gets going, look out. Whacked into the seats foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
One noticeable thing about Julio just prior to him going on the disabled list, it was obvious there was something wrong. His fastball was 89, sometimes 90, where just prior to that he'd been throwing in the 92, 93 range consistently. So we'll keep an eye on the velocity tonight too to see if there's anything there.
Let's see if he can finish off Harper here. The Braves have a shift on for him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count 2-2. And Harper grounds into this shift. That's going to score a run. And Bryce Harper has his 63rd RBI, and the leadoff man Trey Turner scores his 12th run in his last 8 games. It's 1-0 Washington.
Nice job, baby.
What a real treat to hit third or fourth on this ball club when you've either got Turner on base or you got Jason Worth on base, who's been on base 46 times. Tonight Worth drops down in the order, but top of the order is getting it done for the Nats.
And now Wilson Ramos, the Nationals catcher, batting cleanup tonight. 19 homers, 67 knocked in. Ramos a free agent to be at the end of the season. And that one's hammered toward the left center field gap. Enciarte will try to cut it off before it gets to the track. He's not able to do that. And Ramos has the second Washington double. Wilson Ramos leads all major league catchers in batting average, and he hit that ball very hard.
And it was a pitch up and away from him, it looked like. Yeah. And more or less tomahawked it, but right out on the end of the sweet spot. These guys these days are so strong, they hit a ball out that far on the bat and it jumps like his did. Pretty amazing.
21st double for Ramos. Now Jason Worth is the batter. He's reached base in 46 consecutive games. Worth had a couple of base hits last night. And that 46 consecutive games reached mark is a franchise record tying number. Going back to the Nationals days as the Expos franchise, Rusty Staub also reached once in 46 consecutive games. Popped up out of play. Rusty Staub had one of the great nicknames while an Expo, Le Grand Orange.
Tell you what, he could hit too. One of the sometimes overlooked good hitters in that era. Big, strong left-handed hitter, choked up on the bat.
Oh, and 2 outs. And taken high. Nice season for Jason Worth. Real nice season for Daniel Murphy, who's got the evening off. He's the National League's leading hitter.
Tell you, last night Worth spoiled some pitches from Whalen too that ran his pitch count up before Worth was able to connect. Struck out a couple of times to begin the ball game, but later on he did some damage.
Worth has the second most strikeouts on the Nationals club with 103 of them. This is his 109th game.
Everything's up.
Yep.
Again, a little overamped, perhaps. The adrenaline flowing and trying to throw a little too hard, and it's coming out of his hand a little high.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. A 90-mile-an-hour fastball erases Jason Worth. But the Nationals get a leadoff double from Trey Turner. A ground out from Bryce Harper. Julio Teheran's first strikeout of the night ends the top of the first with the Nationals in front 1-0. this Nationals franchise this season. The man on the mound just might be it. Tanner Roark has been a Braves slayer, and he's facing him in back-to-back assignments. Game 2 tonight here in Atlanta.
29 years old, 6'2", 235. A 25th round pick in 08 by Texas. Beat the Braves last Sunday. There's his line. Only 1 run in 7 innings. And in fact, twice this year against the Braves, he's worked a total of 14 innings and only that 1 run allowed. 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. So he has dominated Atlanta, as you said, Chip. A 1.73 lifetime ERA against him.
But the Braves have him exactly where they want him tonight. I'll explain after the pitch to Ender Inciarte, which is hammered down the right field line and foul. Strike 1. You have almost no chance against Tanner Roark in Washington. Against the Braves, he's 4-0 with an 0.76 ERA.
Yikes.
But in Atlanta, 1-1, 2.76.
So you just skyrocketed.
Just this guy is really good.
Yeah, he is. Low 90s fastball, slider, curve and a change, 4-pitch guy.
Fly ball toward Harper and right. Bryce glides to his right and makes the play. 1 out. Chase Darno gets a chance to play tonight. He's batting second. Freddie Freeman's been on a tear. Braves first baseman bats third. Kemp and Markakis, with Tyler Flowers hitting 6th. Beckham, Dansby Swanson, and Julio Teheran 7th, 8th, and 9th. Chase Darno had a single last night, and he takes a strike.
Yeah, pinch hit single in the 9th inning. He's 8 for 19 as a pinch hitter.
The old get off me ball swing. That might have hit Chase if he didn't swing at it. And it's fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, we had a tight game last night until things fell apart in the 8th. Rob Whalen did a nice job. A couple of unearned runs cost him dearly in the 1st inning. But then he settled in. Pitched really good baseball after the 2nd. And then a lot of walks. Wild pitches, pass balls. Blew the game open for the Nationals. Little tapper hit towards short. Fast runner. And Espinosa's arm makes up for the waiting on the baseball. 2 outs.
I'm not sure that Danny really thought he was going to have to do that. He was taking his sweet time. Good thing he's got a good arm.
.24 home runs for Freddie Freeman. 56 RBIs. And the Nationals have a shift on. Freddie has 7 hits against Nationals pitching, 3 of them homers. And 6 RBIs, leads the team in head-to-head play. It's been all Washington in the season series. The Nats have won 9 of the first 10 meetings. And this one's popped up. Revere is there, and after a long run makes the play, and it's a very short inning for Tanner Roark. He retires the Braves on 10 first inning pitches.
And when I walked to center field, I made it my property.
His career blossomed as big as it could. His defensive skills, hitting, base running, his arm. He was a five-tool guy that could do everything, and a great kid.
Andrew Jones, Wild fans, teammates, and rivals for more than a decade in Atlanta, and his highlight reels show why he was an easy choice to be inducted into the Braves Hall of Fame. Tomorrow on Braves Live pregame show, our coverage of the Braves Hall of Fame weekend continues with a special Andrew Jones feature you won't want to miss. That starts our coverage tomorrow at 6:30 on Fox Sports South.
You know, the more we talked about Andrew last night, today at the Hall of Fame ceremony, the more I began to wonder, did we appreciate him enough, or do we kind of take him for granted every single day in center field, having that type of player on the Braves ball club? I know we enjoyed watching him play, but it made me wonder just a little bit.
Anthony Rendon leads off for the Nationals. What we mentioned last night, the career numbers for Andrew Jones. 1,933 hits, 434 homers, 1,289 RBIs. And we mentioned in that promo for the feature tomorrow, 10-year period, right? From 1998 to 2007, a 10-year stretch, Andrew Jones averaged 34 homers, 103 RBIs, and scored 97 runs.
When you said that today, I was backstage with Bobby Cox later, and he said, "Did you say he averaged 30 home runs?" I said, "No, it wasn't me. It was Chip." And he just, Bobby was shaking his head like, man.
Right.
And I have I'll say somewhat of a theory about that and why maybe it got overlooked. Today you hit 30 homers that many years in a row. Everybody notices. Back then, there were guys hitting 70 and 60 and 50. And 30 home runs kind of blended in.
And there were guys on his team that hit more than 30, right?
Yeah, so it got overshadowed by people who were doing things they shouldn't have been doing that enhanced their ability to hit a ton of homers.
Well, and isn't it funny that we talk about Andrew Jones, and the first thing that comes to most people's mind, and even me as well, great defensive center fielder. 30 homers, 100 RBIs, and almost 100 runs on average.
I know. That's why I say maybe we didn't appreciate it enough.
Popped up toward first, and Rendon, who thought he walked, is instead going to pop up.
You said last night, what would he be worth on today's market? Well, by doing those things today, like I said, because nobody's doing that on a consistent basis, sky's the limit.
Here are the keys to the Yankee Stadium if you want.
Yeah,
right?
it just, going back, that's just an opinion of mine that when he was doing that, other guys were overshadowing that by hitting so many.
Well, and in today's era of baseball, and we've seen all kinds of players get rewarded for superior defense, right?
Yes.
And that's all fine and good. Andrew certainly has that resume as well. 5-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove winner. But a 24 defensive wins above replacement average, more than any other center fielder in the history of the game. So you are truly getting a two-threat player, offense and defense, at an elite level.
Well, maybe we just kind of found the market right there, because the Chicago Cubs paid $180 million for a guy that they said plays good defense.
Okay.
They didn't really talk about his offense.
How about?
I'm talking. So if $180 million for a guy who's got a couple of Gold Gloves versus a guy who's had 10 and can hit and hit homers, again, sky's the limit.
Can I take it a step further?
No, go ahead.
Boy, guy becomes an MC and all of a sudden he can't stop. Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah.
Terrific offensive player, right? I don't think he's in Andrew Jones' class defensively, and that's not a knock on Stanton. Not many people are. $300 million for him on one side of the ball.
Yeah.
So I think we're answering our own question. Yes,
Yes.
I think the answer that you're rhetorically asking is yes. I think Andrew probably was in many ways underappreciated, maybe misunderstood, but certainly not underappreciated today with his induction into the Hall of Fame. Here in Atlanta, Ed Robinson pops it out of play. He's got a 3-2 count. Yandy Espinosa waits on deck. Washington got a first inning run. Trey Turner started with a double. Bryce Harper brought him home with a single, or excuse me, with a ground out. And then Wilson Ramos followed with a 2-base hit. And that spun off the plate. Robinson's aboard with a 1-out walk. Espinosa's 4 for 28 against the Braves. Espinosa a rare net without a hit last night.
But he did draw 2 walks.
Who didn't? It was that kind of night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One ball, no strikes. Braves had a nice pregame ceremony at the ballpark, honoring several of the Braves Hall of Famers who are still here tonight. Many of them had other commitments later this evening or tomorrow and had to leave town, but Dale Murphy was here. Paul Snyder got a ride around the infield warning track on one of the convertibles. John Schuerholz, who was also inducted today. And Andrew Jones, unfortunately, wasn't able to stay tonight. In case you're wondering and we'll be watching the replay. Andrew had to take his mom back to Curacao tonight.
Yeah, and there was some concern about a rain delay. And he just, because of the flight, he didn't have the opportunity, didn't have the luxury of waiting to see if the tarp was going to be pulled and would have a chance to do the ride around.
Pretty pitch. Espinosa took it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's Dan Bellino behind the plate, by the way. Swing and a miss. Espinosa didn't get a fastball that was up in the zone at 91 miles an hour, and Julio has 2 strikeouts.
His command isn't quite there yet with his fastball, nor is his velocity back to his top end levels, but able to get that one by Espinosa up in the zone.
And now Tanner Roark is the batter. Roark with 3 RBIs and a 102 average. And he drives this one to right. Markakis playing shallowly is on the run. Still going. And a step shy of the wall. Makes the play. And Tanner Roark gave that baseball a ride. Nice play by Nick Markakis. He's due second in the second. It's still 1-0 Washington. Only 4,000 seats remain for the final game at Turner Field. Get your ticket to the last game on Sunday, October 2nd, and get any other 2016 game for up to 60% off the gate price. Secure your seat for the final celebration at Turner Field fast at braves.com/final game today. Nice, cool, breezy evening despite the humidity in Atlanta. Friday night fireworks to follow, the Braves and the Nationals. And I'm not sure if that kid was doing the lawn sprinkler. I know about the tomahawk chop part, but I think that looked like the lawn sprinkler.
All I know is that in the floor on the concrete there in front of his chair is an empty cotton candy tube.
Yes. So Tanner Roark back to work. He's got Kemp Markakis and Tyler Flowers coming up. And that's fouled away for a strike. And I bet he got it from that usher.
Actually, it's just in bags now. It's not on a tube, so I guess it was a plastic bag, empty bag in front of his chair.
Now, I noticed that in those bags you've got the pink cotton candy, you've got the light blue cotton candy. You get both colors in one bag.
Oh yeah.
What if you just wanted the blue?
Yeah, you're out of luck tonight, I guess.
Huh. See, look.
Oh.
Fly ball curling toward Bryce Harper in right field. Matt Kemp will be retired. One man down.
Tell you, it was a great thing today at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, as all of the Braves players were there, and the only person that was excused was Julio because he's pitching tonight. But so such a great thing and such a good Braves tradition for the players, the Hall of Famers that have already been inducted, and a lot of alumni come for that. It's a great deal.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The Hall of Fame weekend is wonderful. The alumni weekend that we have here at the ballpark is terrific as well. And when you get a chance to sit in the green room, as it was called, with guys like John Schuerholz and Dayton Moore and Pat Gillick and Leo Mazzoni and Tom Glavine, and you just hear the stories. I mean, you want an education on what the history of the Braves is really all about. We were fortunate enough to be up close and personal to that today. And what struck me during Jim Powell's terrific panel with the gentleman honoring John Schuerholz today, Stan Kasten, Pat Gillick, Dayton Moore, Leo Mazzoni, was these are some of the most competitive people in this sport that you'll ever meet. I mean, they're friends, but if they're playing each other, they want to beat the other guys, you know what.
Yeah.
But up on that dais, professional, gentlemanly, fraternal.
Well, great deal of respect.
Wonderful respect. Exactly right. I mean, it was just a wonderful, wonderful program, and Jim did an excellent job moderating that panel, I thought.
He did. I'll put John Hart in that group too. I mean, he was not on the dais with those guys and was not involved in the panel discussion, but John Hart equally competitive with those gentlemen you mentioned and wants to win.
So
I had the good fortune of sitting next to Stan during lunch, and I loved the back and forth between he and John Schuerholz talking about how John came to be an Atlanta Braves general manager. It was a great story.
And John Schuerholz is going to join us in just a little bit, so maybe he can fill us in and tell you at home who weren't able to get to the luncheon what that story was. But it was just a great day. Just a great day. So let's see if the Braves can cap it with a win tonight. As Tyler Flowers back in the lineup. Tyler gave us a scare last night, didn't he?
Yeah, I talked to him about that before the game. And I told him, I said, you know, I'm sorry, I may have spoken out of turn thinking that you came out of the game because of the pitch that you took off the thumb from Cabrera. And I said, did it hurt? And he went, at the time. He's very stone-faced about it. And I said, well, I didn't know if that knocked you out of the game or not. And he said, well, no. He said, Brian just elected to take me out of the game in the 9th. But he got crossed up looking for a curveball and tried to catch a 102 fastball.
Yeah, you're out a month, and welcome back.
Take this off the thumb.
But it is good to have Tyler back in the lineup, where he went 1 for 3 last night. Gordon Beckham to follow. Markakis at first with a 1-out walk. And Flowers rung up on a check swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, Tyler's got some fancy batting gloves. Those are nice.
I'd ask you the color, but I think you'd have no shot.
Well, at first I thought one of them had an L on it and the other one had an R.
He's got the pad on the left hand. Boy, he is not going to be happy with you tomorrow when he hears that.
That's a cool pad on the back of his left hand, though. Remember those real big, bulky ones that Jeff Bagwell, Omar Infante, those guys wore when they had their hands broken by pitches. That's a little less bulky.
3-2. Runner goes, and Tyler is still alive. Make this guy work. Roark didn't have to work much. As far as the pitch count is concerned, he only threw 99 against the Braves in his last start, but that's in some ways really deceptive. It was brutally hot up in Washington. The heat index around 106, 108 degrees on the field.
Yeah.
And he threw 7 innings of 5-hit ball.
And he is sweating tonight. So is Julio, and game time temperature was 75 degrees. Very close tonight.
Runner goes. Woo! The pitch is strike. The throw to second is also a strike. And a strike him out, throw him out, double play sends us to our 3rd inning. Braves Hall of Fame inductee John Schuerholz will join Joe and me as we head to inning number 3.
Wherever you go around America, because of the Superstation, people know the Braves, and there's an image of the Braves throughout the world, and it's one of competence, integrity, professionalism, and success, and that all started with John. So, thanks.
It's always nice to get a thank you from the great Stan Kasten as we are joined by the newest member of the Braves Hall of Fame, John Schuerholz. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a wonderful honor. I thought I was be ready for it, but to see the quality of the people who are already in our Hall of Fame there today, and the guests who came to talk about our relationship, theirs and mine, was just absolutely mind-boggling and really, really wonderful.
I thought it was very complimentary to you, John, for those guys who are busy in their own right with their own teams to take time to come over and salute you. I thought it was great.
Well, I agree. I mean, these are all busy men and accomplished men, and I can say friends of mine, and you know, it was just a wonderful experience for me, and I couldn't be happier.
So let's go back. I love going backwards in time when you have a moment like this. Let's go back in time to the fall of 1990. I'm sure you could never have envisioned being inducted into the Atlanta Braves Hall of Fame when you had to be convinced, I guess, to take the general manager's job for the Braves. Joe was talking about that great story with you and Stan Kasten. For those who couldn't attend today, could you please tell that story again?
Well, circumstances began to change in Kansas City, where I had been for 23 years. And ownership, our Kaufman, Mr. Kaufman, our beloved owner, was battling some health problems and looking for a new ownership to come in with him in partnership. And to shorten the story, the internal circumstances got a little unsettled. And I never thought I'd feel that way. I loved living in Kansas City. It was a wonderful place to live and grow a family and all that. And then Stan and I were on a committee, and he started talking about Bobby. He's going to keep Bobby in the dugout the next year, and you have a lot of young friends who are general managers, and you know the sharp guys, and let me know somebody who you would recommend for us. And I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it and internalized. I said, you know what, that may be something I want to do. So one of these days later on in another committee meeting, I mentioned to Stan that I think I would be interested. He said, well, get the correct permission to talk, and I'll talk to you. So I did, and we talked, and then he offered me the job, which really messed me up because I didn't know if he would do that. And I love Kansas City so much, I had to really, I accepted, and then I didn't, and I turned it back. And finally, the night before he was about ready to assign it to someone else or offer it to someone else, I called him and said, Stan, I'm ready to take that job if it's still available. And it was it was the best decision I ever made in my life to come to Atlanta.
Ben Revere, the batter, and a breaking ball from Julio has him behind him.
And again, for those that weren't there today, the best decision you ever made other than agreeing after Karen asked you to marry.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, I cleared to that with Karen after I got home this afternoon too. She said, "What was the best decision?" It was the best baseball decision I ever made in my life.
Well, you said,
clarify it that way.
You don't want to make the general manager mad, which
no. She was the general manager of our household.
And so obviously you come here in 1991. You knew what the Braves had in the farm system, and you've been credited with really changing the entire culture here, not just what you see on the field, but the culture behind the scenes that fans sometimes don't see as well. How challenging a process was that for you in the early days? You
know, it was not very challenging for me because I grew up in organizations. I grew up in organizations that demanded that of people and expected of people more than demanded it. And I brought it here with me to Atlanta from Kansas City, and it wasn't difficult. There were very few people who were unwilling or unable to step up to the level of professionalism and feeling good about yourself and proud about yourself as a person in an organization. And we got it done. It was fairly easy. People say, let's go. This is the way we want to be. We want to be proud. We want to be winners. We want to get the job done. We want to continue to do that. And everybody joined in.
So in your mindset, was this then a sleeping giant, I guess, that had just needed to be prodded awake?
Well, it was a sleeping giant because of the work.
Look at the deke. Turner couldn't find the baseball, and he just got back. There were not one, not two, but three different players trying to fake out Trey Turner, and he didn't know whether to stand at second or wind his watch, and the Braves almost doubled him off.
I may be prejudiced, but I think this would be a perfect time for instant replay review.
The throw to first was bang, bang, and Freeman with the stretch. And the Braves are taking a look at that. Buddy Carlisle in the Braves locker room will say, yeah, to Brian Snitker, you might want to take a look at this, and that's the universal signal for replay review. But what heads-up play by the Braves middle infielders and Ender Inciarte.
He had no idea where the ball was.
Who, as we know, is the deke master in the outfield.
So the Braves are going to challenge the play at first base, thinking they doubled off Trey Turner.
If this is successful, it may be the only way to keep Trey Turner off the bases. Look at Ender.
And he's looking right at Trey Turner, who is standing at second base, not knowing what to do. Let's see from this angle.
Got him.
I think he's out.
I mean, it's the same as if it's a thrown ball from the infield. That ball's got to be in the pocket of the glove of the first baseman.
What an unbelievable play by Ender Inciarte and the Braves middle infielders to have Trey Turner just twisting in the wind between first and second base. And if we're right, that'll be a double play and the bases will be clear. Well, you mentioned instant replay. I know that you are intimately involved with that process. How do you think instant replay has manifested itself? In this case, I know you like it a lot.
I'm also a member of the competition committee, and we talked about it just the last 2 days down in Houston. And what we said, the committee, not only the instant replay committee, which I was chairman of, but the competition committee, it's doing its job. We're getting more plays right. We're getting more calls right. There are some that are aggravating in the length of review and all of that. But principally, what the purpose was to get the calls right. And the second sentence I wrote was to keep the flow and the rhythm of the game unaffected. We haven't done that necessarily as well as we wanted, but we're getting more calls right. And the umpires and the teams like what's going on with it. But we need to fix some of that. We need to tighten up the segment when the manager decides he's going to challenge a play, and the communication between the inside office of each club and the manager to decide whether he's going to challenge or not.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
We need to do that, and everybody agrees with that.
Good. So a great challenge by the Braves. Good camera angles showed that Turner was indeed out. And the great deke by the Atlanta defense as Tehran with 2 outs and Bryce Harper in the batter's box. Visiting with John Schuerholz, inducted today with Andrew Jones into the Braves Hall of Fame. Trying to keep John for another half inning if Harper obliges and makes the 3rd out, as the Braves shift for him on the right side, and he takes a strike. Can you believe, John, 21 games left in this ballpark? Doesn't seem possible, does it?
No, it really doesn't. We've had, such a wonderful experience here, and as we did across the street in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and put a lot of wins up on the board and had a lot of fans. We had 3.5 million, 3.8 million fans sit in our ballparks and cheer for this team and help drive us to championships and support us so well, and walk around town with their T-shirts and hats and with brave pride, and that was something that we were delighted to do and sustain, and it's our commitment now to regain that and do that again and get this community involved in baseball with that same spirit as we had before.
Harper with a vicious swing, fouls it back and stays alive.
Pretty good player right there, Bryce Harper. Not bad for his age, huh?
Bryce is not bad for any age. He'd be bad for twice his age, or good for twice his age. I mean, this kid's a really talented guy, and he was deemed to be a baseball player. He and his father had this plan, this master plan, and he had the ability and the tenacity and the work ethic and the aptitude to become that. And he's a remarkable young player.
Fly ball towards center field, and Julio Tehran's defense did a marvelous job to fake out Trey Turner and the Nationals in the 3rd. John, would you stick around for one more half inning?
Absolutely.
Plenty more ground to cover with the newest Braves Hall of Famer, John Schuerholz. 1-0 Washington.
remember how great the Braves have been, and to continue to hope and pray and work, as these guys are all up here are doing, that they will become great again, and I believe that we will.
That was part of the very eloquent acceptance speech from John Schuerholz today at the Braves Hall of Fame and luncheon induction ceremony at the downtown Atlanta Hyatt. And John, as good as you were, I thought my partner was a terrific MC. I'm really surprised that you have not jabbed him with a pencil or something after he got on you with the suspenders and stuff.
Well, you see how long he had the suspenders on. He went backstage and unclipped those little clips he had on his suspenders on with. Didn't have any buttons on his pants, but I was proud of the fact that Joe said, this is a style that I want to adopt, and he put his suspenders and his little pocket square in, and he looked really good.
He looked so uncomfortable with this. You were miserable, weren't you?
I couldn't keep my pants down. They were riding up, boy. Those suspenders hiked those things up. That's why I said to John, he's going to have to, if I'm going to ever wear them again, he's going to have to give me a tip on how to adjust them.
That was one of the lighter moments today as Gordon Beckham leads off. So, John, in that, there you go. There's my partner. They even matched, too. He did a pretty good job.
Did they really?
Right?
Did.
Yeah.
Shocker.
It was purple tie day for the
yes,
Hall of Fame induction.
So, John, as we look backward and celebrate what you've helped accomplish with so many very capable and able and talented people, we'd be remiss if we didn't also look ahead. You've said many a time that this is your 25, 50, 75 anniversary in your life in Major League Baseball and with the Braves. What are you most looking forward to now as you've found yourself in the Braves Hall of Fame and all the wonderful things that we as an organization look forward to next year?
I have such passion and love for this organization. What I'm most looking forward to is when we start winning way more series and way more games than we lose, as we did for almost 23 years out of 25. And I think we're getting closer to that by fulfilling the promise of having homegrown players, talent in our pipeline, have it flow consistently to the major league, matriculate to the major league caliber players, championship caliber players. I think the job that John Hart, our president of baseball operations, and John Coppola, our general manager, have done in tandem is remarkable in the rebuild, but the speed with which they've done it is even more remarkable. And we're just at the brink of starting another really great run for a long number of years, and that's what I'm most looking forward to.
How hard has it been, or has it been hard at all, to stay the course, as it were? We are such, and I've said this before, we are such a want it now society, and I'm not blaming people, but that's who we are. How hard has that been as the leader of this endeavor?
You guys both know me. I'm a competitor. I love to win. I don't like to lose. But we had to make a very tough decision. You could not go middle ground where you put one foot in competitiveness and the other foot in rebuild, because neither of those two work at all. So we decided to make the very difficult decision to go down to the bare steel, because there was no major league quality talent any longer in our minor league system, and we had to rebuild from the very beginning and go down to the very bottom. And we've done it, and as I said a moment ago, these guys have done it in a quick and expert fashion, and we're closer to getting back, I say as close as sometime next year when we're in beautiful new SunTrust Park, where we'll have a team on the field that is more like the teams we've had in the past.
I would say also, you talk about the two Johns and the great job they're doing. One of the things that happened also are that a lot of people came back to the organization, people that you had hired, and that they are certainly important parts of this rebuild. People like Roy Clark that comes to mind immediately.
Right.
But Bridges, everybody, these guys that have come back and wanted to be a part of this rebuild.
Roy Clark called me when he learned that a reconstruction was occurring. And Roy was so valuable and so important in the acquisition of talent that made us what we were before. Paul Snyder still has a role to play in a sort of a supervisory, astute, senior advisor kind of a guy. And they all wanted to come back, and they're back, and we have the Braves way again in place. And we're on our way. This organization's about ready to make a big turn. I know the fans here can't see it now. We can't see it now with the team play on the field, but the pipeline is being filled with the kind of players that turn this around and make this a championship caliber team on the field almost every night.
And one of them was just in the batter's box. How exciting is it for you to see a young player like Dansby Swanson be acquired by this organization and get to the big leagues, and tonight playing in his 3rd major league game.
Well, Dansby's a talented young man. Of course, the 1-1 draft choice, first player taken in the 1st round out of Vanderbilt University, Marietta native, and thought of most highly. And he's young. He has still more growing to do and more finishing to do. And when he gets there, he's going to be one of those kind of players that helps you win by the kind of mentality that he has and the kind of intelligence he has. And he's going to be a really quality stabilizer on a ball club.
As Julio Teheran bats and skies that one out of play, he's behind 0-1.
What I like about it is it gives us a glimpse. It gives the fans a glimpse. Gives you a glimpse of what's coming.
It gives our organization a chance to see what we have in Dansby Swanson, and not putting too much burden on trying to project too much, because this is a tough, as you know, it's tough to come from AAA to major leagues because the speed of the game and the quality of the players all throughout the other team's uniforms. But it gives us a chance to see what we have in Dansby. We have very high hopes for him. We think he will show us that he can do the job.
John, you've done an amazing job. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chip.
We are so appreciative and grateful for you.
Thank you.
Best to you and the family. John Schuerholz.
Thank you.
Inducted in the Braves Hall of Fame today. Julio Teheran is back in rotation for the Braves, and we head to the 4th. It's 1-0 Washington. We head to the 4th inning. One reason why it's 1-0 is a play that I absolutely love. Look at the coordination and the fake out by the Braves defense.
Everybody's trying to make it look like a ground ball. And as long as he didn't look at Matt Kemp, he didn't know that it wasn't a ground ball until it was too late. That was a good pickup, Chip.
That's our Toyota key play. Matt Kemp with a strong throw erases Trey Turner. And Ender Inciarte. Just a little subtle thing, the old expression, you don't see it in the box score, but baseball people know how big a play that can be. That was something. And Dusty Baker, a former outfielder himself, didn't like the result, but you know he appreciated what Ender Inciarte just did.
Tell you what he appreciated was the baseball instinct of Inciarte showing up again.
Wilson Ramos is the Washington hitter. Ramos with a 1st inning double and was stranded. Julio beginning his 2nd trip through the Nationals order. He has scattered 3 hits. The Braves are hitless so far after 3.
He's had a good breaking ball tonight. He got Harper to end the 3rd inning on that pop up to center on a good breaking ball when he was behind in the count.
Might see another one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He did, and Ramos didn't get it. 3rd strikeout for Julio. Good start to his 4th inning. Julio's first strikeout victims, the man in the batter's box, Jason Worth, and his long on-base streak is our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard.
And certainly the longest in the big leagues. Last night, Inciarte had his snapped at 27 games, so Jose Ramirez of the Indians is second at the moment with 24.
National League record for most consecutive games, as we showed you last night, is the immortal George Van Haltren, who reached in 60 games with Pittsburgh in 1893. The all-time record for most consecutive games reaching base is an astounding 84 games in a row. Ted Williams.
Wow.
In 1949.
A lot of hits involved in that consecutive streak.
You know it. So think about that. Jason Worth is barely halfway to Ted Williams.
Now I wonder on DiMaggio, 56 straight hitting safely, if he walked in the game where he went hitless, because he hit in another 20 straight or something after that.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
We'll put Chan Ho on it.
No, the streak was broken by the Cleveland Indians and Ken Keltner, who made a couple of great plays at third base. Worth strikes out. That's 2 in a row for Julio and 4 in the game.
Good fastball. Upstairs. Similar to the pitch he struck out on in the first inning.
Remember, it was a lat muscle issue for Julio. We've not seen him shake, twist, bend, nothing at all. Looks very comfortable out there as he's about to make his 56th pitch. But the Braves got to find a way to muster some offense for him here in this ballpark. Julio has not won a home game. That's hard to believe. He's 0-5 at Turner Field despite a .307 earned run average.
I was looking at some detailed stats against Julio. Let's see if I can find that, and it's about batters in the order. No one is hitting over 300 against him in any spot in the batting order. And other than the 8th and 9th spot in the order, the lowest is the cleanup hitter. Cleanup hitter is only hitting $192 against him coming into play tonight, and Ramos had a double but then struck out.
Wow. Popped up. Rendon is going to be an easy out for Freddie Freeman. Boy, Julio Teheran is pitching like a #1 starter, and he has been missed. Top of the order coming up for Atlanta. Down 1-0 to Tanner Roark.
To the bottom of the 4th inning, and you heard from John Schuerholz earlier. Him and Andrew Dones inducted into the Braves Hall of Fame today. A very special day for Braves country. Schuerholz known for more than 50-plus years in professional baseball. Jones, 10 gold gloves. Now, this display you're looking at, just installed earlier this week. It was an Andrew game-worn jersey from 2005 when he set the franchise record of 51 home runs. And for Schuerholz, it's the Lifetime Achievement Award from Baseball America. Now, the coolest thing about this is when they move to SunTrust, there will not be a museum. They're going to spread the displays all over the ballpark. So everywhere you walk, you'll see a little bit of Braves history.
Thank you, Kelsey, as Ender Inciarte goes to work and just missed another hit down the line.
Yeah, the description, and that's a good point, Kelsey. The description I've heard, like you said, Chip, about all the artifacts and museum pieces it'll be a continuous monument type walk around the ballpark.
It's almost like the ballpark will be a living museum.
Yeah,
really, not just isolated in one particular area. And what a rich history it is. The Braves, the longest continually operating franchise in the National League. And there's the first hit of the night. Ender Inciarte aboard with a leadoff single, and he represents the tying run. So there goes the no-hitter for Tanner Roark. He didn't like the result of that pitch, and Ender gets things started in front of Chase Darno.
Tanner Roark is 13-6, a 2.81 ERA. He's 1-3 against Miami with a 6.23 ERA.
Isn't that funny?
Everybody's got somebody that they can't beat.
Well, there's a lot to like about Tanner Roark. A couple of years ago, Tanner Roark won 15 games, made 31 starts, and had a sub-3 earned run average. Last year, the Nationals had Doug Fister in rotation. Roark was shuffled to the bullpen, where he went 4-7 and had an ERA of almost a run and a half higher. And credit the Nationals, they said, wait a minute, we've got a guy that's a 15-game winner waiting his turn. We've got to put him back in rotation and see what he can do. Well, 13-6. And again, an ERA under 3. And a pitcher who is very much admired and appreciated by his teammates. That one short hopped and caught by Ramos. Nice play. Roark has thrown 7 or more shutout innings 7 times in his first 24 starts this year. And there are some who have said privately that if you had to pick one of the National starters to pitch a Game 5 or a Game 7, there isn't a man who would mind if that man pitching was Tanner Roark.
Going?
Yep. And Darno fouls it away.
Yeah, that lean working.
Now you base stealers can see that a mile away.
He had a little tension in his right leg, like he was ready to cross over that foot and go. And when Roark held the ball for a while, it just looked like it was a chance for him to get after it.
Now Roark will try to take a little more spring out of Ender's legs. Inciarte, the second Braves base runner. The first was Nick Markakis, who walked and was erased in a strike him out, throw him out double play in the second. That's upstairs, 2-2.
One of the fundamentals that's changed a little bit over the years for base stealers is that open stance. It used to be that your feet were parallel, the toes of your shoes were even, and that gave you the ability to cross over to go to second if you're going to steal, or to get back to first if you were going to have to get back to the guy with a good move. I like this from a stealing standpoint. You're open and ready to go, but if guy's got a good move, you've got a little farther to cross back.
Ramos tried to steal a strike and couldn't, so Inciarte was running on a 1-1 pitch. Now it's a 3-2 count. Nobody out, and your big slugger Freddie Freeman waiting on deck. Let's see how Brian Snitker plays it. He's going, and fouled away again. Darno's making Tanner Roark work here.
Yeah, and from the pitcher standpoint, he knows Inciarte is likely to run 3-2 here. He's trying to use his slide step so that he can get the ball to the plate quicker in hopes of getting another strike him out, throw him out, double play.
Bo Porter with a reminder, nobody out for Inciarte at first. Darno choked up. Runner goes. Pitch is a strike. The throw to second is also a strike. Another strike him out, throw him out, double play. And Inciarte's erased, 2 outs.
Obviously Darno didn't think this was a strike, but the key here is on this particular play, 3-2, you've got to treat it almost like a hit and run. You got to protect the base stealer. You know he's going, and if it's borderline like that, you need to take a hack at it, even if you make an out, and protect that guy to get him into second base. Great throw by Ramos again.
Who's caught 29% of all base stealers since 2010, 7th best percentage in the big leagues in that stretch. He's nailed 2 runners tonight and helps Roark protect a 1-0 lead. 1-1 pitch for Freeman is ripped foul. It's 1-2. Freddie's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot feature.
Yeah, he's driven these guys crazy the last 3 years. 7 and 18. Almost a 400 average.
High towering fly ball to right. At the track, at the wall, Revere. What a catch! What a catch by Revere! Up at the top of the wall. He hammered into the padding, and he keeps Freddie Freeman in the ballpark, and the Braves off the scoreboard. Unbelievable play.
Catch of the year. I mean, we've been talking about Andruw Jones and honoring Andruw Jones. That was very AJ-like right there.
That might have been the best major league catch I've ever seen by Ben Revere to rob Freddie Freeman.
He was on the dead run too. It wasn't like he was standing at the base of the wall and leaped. So he was running and jumping.
And you took the words right out of everyone's mouth. On a day we also celebrate Andrew Jones. Ben Revere with an Andrew Jones worthy catch to keep the Nationals in front 1-0. Wow. Fifth inning, Clint Robinson leads off. Espinosa and Roark to follow.
When Freddie hit that ball, I didn't think it was going to have enough. I thought he hit it too high. It did have enough. It was going to go over the fence.
I mean, he came flying out of nowhere to make that play. And Ben Revere, all of 5'9" tall, had the glove up over the yellow line to bring it back. Incredible play. Two balls, two strikes. And that one's driven to right. Markakis on the run, still going. He's up against the scoreboard, and he has just enough room.
He might have brought that back. I mean, the way the fans in right field erupted because they can't see Nick over the wall. They only could see his glove. How about it, folks?
Yes, he did.
Back-to-back outs. One for them. One for the Bravos. Way to go, Nick.
And I don't think Robinson hit that ball as solidly as Freeman. Do you? I mean, it just kept going out to right.
It sounded better than Freddie's. There's a light breeze drifting that way that might have helped it a little bit.
One ball, no strikes for Danny Espinosa. Julio struck him out in the second inning. And if you're just joining us, this is Julio Teheran's first start with the Braves since he faced the Phillies. And that game was on July the 30th. A lat problem. Joe mentioned he made one rehab start against Louisville. Gave up one earned run in 5 innings through 73 pitches with 5 strikeouts, no walks. He's happy to be back. The Braves are thrilled to have him back. And Julio pitching for a lot more than just a win today. He's pitching for his new baby boy Jordan. As that one is a strike at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To make room for Julio on the Braves roster, Eric O'Flaherty was placed on the 15-day disabled list with left elbow neuritis.
Yeah, Eric had been battling something. You just knew he wasn't himself over his last 4 or 5 outings.
And that's high, 3-2.
Been getting a lot of outs late in the count with his off-speed stuff. Rendon fouled out to end the 4th inning on an off-speed pitch.
That breaking ball missed, and Espinosa's aboard. Julio has issued his 2nd walk, and now Roark will be the batter. Roark majored in sports management at the University of Illinois. Went to Wilmington High School. Won a pair of state baseball championships back in 2003 and 2005. And was an all-state quarterback for their football team. As Joe mentioned, he was acquired from Texas for Christian Guzman at the trading deadline in 2010. Julio has an excellent pickoff move. He's going to try to keep Espinoza close in case the bunt is bunted too hard. Might be able to get a double play. Runner starts, then stops, and Roark slugs it foul at the plate. 0-2. Julio's fastball's been 90 most of the time tonight. I think he's popped at 91 a time or two.
That was a good waste pitch in a way, just to see if he was still bunting and if he was going to try to bunt a high fastball.
Runner goes. Roark is going to swing and miss. And he's going to be rung up for the second out of the inning. Espinoza ends up at second base as Tehran picks up strikeout number 5. Give Espinoza the steal. That's his 8th.
Went from a high fastball to a breaking ball over in the left-handed batter's box that Roark went after.
Buddy, we got to figure out a way to get this guy out.
No kidding.
Trey Turner's 11 for 21 against the Braves. He's doubled, he's singled. Remember, he almost hit for the cycle against Atlanta up in Washington. And a strike. Grounded deep short. Long throw won't be made. Dansby couldn't handle it cleanly. And even if he did, I don't think they get Turner, who can fly.
No, his play was at third. I don't know if he looked toward Darno at third base. Chase looked like he was getting back to the bag in time. I thought he had a good shot at Espinoza. And Chase wasn't as close to the base as I thought he was.
So that's an infield hit for Turner. He's 3 for 3. And now Ben Revere, the batter. Revere hit the fly ball to left that faked out Trey Turner in the 3rd inning and led to that amazing double play. And he's also taken a home run away from Freddie Freeman tonight on a remarkable catch. A strike. Line drive into right field, a base hit. That's going to make it 2-0. So the walk to Espinosa comes home to roost. Ben Revere is +2 in the run column. He's knocked one in, he's taken one away, and it's 2-0 Washington in front.
'23rd RBI.
So Bryce Harper, the batter. Harper has an RBI. He's 0 for 2 in the game.
And Washington already 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position. His bullpen's about to get busy.
Harper a little pop. This one might be trouble. Long run Dansby. He can't get there. It's off his glove. The throw comes to the plate. That's late. It's 3-0. A bloop hit for Bryce Harper and his second RBI. And right now the Nats are hitting them where they ain't. A 2-run inning, and this damage coming with 2 outs. 3 straight hits.
Look how far he had to go. He was behind the bag at second and still almost got it. Looked like he had it for a second. Went off the heel of his glove.
So a walk and 3 singles has plated 2 runs for the Nationals. They extend their lead to 3-0 now. So the meeting a brief one. Roger McDowell heads back into the dugout, and Wilson Ramos will stand in after doubling and striking out tonight. 80 pitches for Tehran. The Nationals have dinged him for 6 hits. Ramos has one of them. That was a first inning double. The only 2 extra base hits allowed by Tehran. They came in the opening inning. So Bryce Harper, 64 RBIs. The pitch is cut on and missed. Don't want to give Tanner Roark too much rope to play with. He's leading 3-0. Madison Younginer is up and throwing. If Ramos reaches, might be the end of the line for Julio, who again hasn't pitched in the big leagues since July 30th. And Flowers smothered that. Pitch number 24 of the inning for Tehran coming up. And that buzzed the tower inside. 2-1. Two and two. What a huge momentum swing the Ben Revere catch was in the bottom of the 4th inning. Markakis took away a home run from Clint Robinson. Espinosa walked on a close pitch. Then Roark struck out. But 3 straight national singles have helped them extend their lead. The pitch is in the dirt.
Struck him out with a slider in the 4th. Full count. Might go back to it again. Probably running on fumes right now at 85 pitches.
Yeah, hot night, hasn't been up here in a while. And a long 5th inning. Three and two. Runner at first goes Harper, and into the seats. I think it'll be interesting to see where Wilson Ramos ends up next year. Very well could end up back in Washington. They like him. Why not? But, and it's maybe unfair, but you look at the record of Wilson Ramos: injuries, some ineffective play. He's having the year of his life in his free agency
Real
season.
spike.
So, as good as he is, will he stay healthy and hit like those numbers when he gets the big contract? 3 balls, 2 strikes. Harper leads. There he goes. Pitch is just off the plate. Tehran didn't get the call. A 7-pitch at bat loads the bases for Washington and brings up Jason Worth, who's 0 for 2.
Could have gone either way.
Well, here's what scares you about Worth. He can start a night 0 for 2, and it's almost like he's reeling in the opposing pitcher. A couple of strikeouts for Jason. However, he does not hit Julio Tehran well at all.
Well, that's what he did last night. 2 strikeouts, then a double and a single, an RBI, and a run scored.
That pitch might not have been as good as the one that earned Ramos the walk. That one's called a strike. Worth 5 for 31 in his career against Tehran.
Wow, 6 slams.
But that's what scares you. As Julio's ready for his 30th pitch. And Worth didn't get it. 0-2.
Has not caught up to a fastball yet tonight.
Ground ball toward Dansby. He's got it. The flip to second is in time. And after 31 pitches in the 5th inning, the Nationals strike for 2 runs. It's 3-0 with Matt Kemp set to lead off. Did what he did in the Atlanta half of the 4th inning to rob Freddie Freeman. Look at this incredible play.
On the run, timing it perfectly. I mean, look at the point where he hits the wall. He is so high off the ground right there. That reminds me of that Mike Trout catch a few years ago, where he was going up over the wall, a much shorter wall, and hitting it on the run.
Unofficially, I had him with about 22, 23 strides to go get that ball. So I don't know how far that is for Ben Revere, but it looked like it was a long, long way. And I can't wait to see the StatCast representation, the computer generation of how far he had to go, how efficient the route was, because I mean he ran a country mile, and I think he was positioned for Freeman exactly where he is for Matt Kemp. So if we can pull out a little further, he caught that up against the State Farm sign. This one's bounced to the left side and off Rendon's glove. That'll trickle into shallow left, and Matt Kemp's aboard to begin the Braves' 5th inning. That'll be a hit, and the 2nd of the night for the Braves. So look at where Revere is, and then imagine where he caught that ball in right center field on the very first panel of the State Farm sign. Keep coming, keep coming. That's the Bank of America sign. It's even further. Unbelievable play. Well, let's see what Markakis can do. He's taken a home run back. Nick walked and was thrown out trying to steal in the 2nd. Ramos has caught 2 would-be base stealers. And that's turned into a couple of double plays behind Tanner Roark, who now leads by a 3-0 score.
Braves really need a big inning. They haven't had one of more than 2 runs since last Saturday night, when they got that big rally in the 9th going and scored 4 times. Everything else since then has been 1 run or 2.
And Roark, as he so often does against the Braves, putting a goose egg up there. Nothing. And only 2 hits. And there's a look at how far Revere had to go. Again, best catch I've ever seen, I think. And this one's in the air to shallow right center, and Harper gives way. Revere called him off, and there's the first out. One on, one out for Tyler Flowers. Three straight Nationals hits with 2 outs in the 5th inning brought home runs number 2 and 3 for Julio.
Roark red hot in July and August. 3-1 in July with a 2.97 ERA. 3-0 this month with a 1.77.
I think he's the perfect guy in a perfect spot in the Nationals pitching rotation. You know all about Steven Strasburg. Okay, great pitcher. He's having a rough time right now, but Strasburg 15-4. You know all about Max Scherzer with the no hits, the 20 strikeout games. Scherzer's 12-7. Gio Gonzalez has been around a long time. He's 8-9, higher ERA, but a veteran pitcher. And then just Sitting there lurking in the weeds is Tanner Roark, who just goes out and throws a 6 or 7 shutout innings and picks up 13 wins. This one's bounced to Espinosa. Little trouble getting it out of his glove. But
that's
a double play.
22nd double play he's induced this year, and that doesn't even count the throw him out, strike him out, throw him outs.
He's the real deal, and he's qualified for a win. He's up 3-0 headed to the 6th.
As we head to the 6th inning, and last night it was a home run derby in Baltimore for the Orioles versus the Astros, and that continues tonight with our Xfinity game grid. Let's get you back out there. Bottom of the 5th, Orioles down 2, 1 out, no one on. Pedro Alvarez with his 19th home run of the season with a line drive to right center. O's down 9-8. Now to the top of the 6th, Astros up 1. Jose Altuve having an incredible year with a 2-run shot to left center off of Tyler Wilson, his 20th of the year. Then 2 batters later, former Brave Evan Gattis with a solo shot also in left center for his 19th of the season. Lots and lots and lots of home runs hit there again tonight, guys. It's now 12-8 in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Oh, you got to love American League Baseball, don't you?
It's like home run derby there the last 2 nights.
And we're told it was 4 home runs among the first 5 batters in that game. Yikes. As Madison Youngner is on for his 6th appearance. Julio Teheran went 5 innings in his return from the disabled list. 6 hits, 3 runs earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts.
Madison gave up runs in 2 of his first 3 outings, but he's settled in a little bit since then. Beginning to feel more comfortable at this level.
And he'll face Anthony Rendon, who's popped out twice. To Freddie Freeman. Let's evaluate Julio's start tonight. I'm sure he didn't go as long in the game as he would have liked to have gone, and it's not like he got hit real hard, but the 2 runs in the 5th inning broke the game open from his perspective, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. And after being off for 3 weeks, I'd say it was okay. Kind of expect a little bit of command, but problems. He walked 3, but his breaking ball was real good tonight. Fastball still a little shorter than what we're used to.
So Julio's next start, we figure, will be in Arizona against the Diamondbacks, barring any issues after tonight's outing. 2 more with the Nationals here in Atlanta. Then we head to Phoenix. Then we go to Arizona for a date with, Arizona, then San Francisco for a date with the struggling San Francisco Giants. The Giants host the Mets later on tonight. Arizona's in San Diego. 2 balls and a strike. And a line drive greets Youngner. Rendon with a base hit to center. Neat story came across the wires tonight with New York heading out west to face the Giants. The Wilpon family brought a National League championship ring for Tom Seaver, who lives out in the Napa Valley area. And don't see Tom very often. Used to see him quite a bit when the Braves would go to New York to play the Mets. But Tom lives out west, so the Giants hosting New York. Perfect opportunity for the Mets to give Tom Terrific a great memento from the Mets super year last year.
That's nice.
A strike to Clint Robinson. Braves have to find a way over these last couple of weeks before the end of the month to get their starters deeper into the ball game. The relief corps has worked a lot of innings. We've seen a lot of walks, a lot of pitches from the relief staff. And this is why one of the reasons why they call it the dog days. You got a lot of relievers that are giving you everything they've got, but they've been used a lot out of necessity because the starters are averaging just 5 innings per start over the last 15-16 games. Braves got Arodys Vizcaíno back yesterday. He had a rough return from his injury. And we're headed to Arizona, which is not an easy place to pitch.
No, it's not, even though it's spacious to center field. Ball jumps there too. Rock hard infield.
Two balls, one strike. Espinosa waits on deck. Robinson's a big man. Let's see if Madison can pitch to some contact here and get a ground ball. Nope. And these young Braves pitchers, Joe, when they're missing, they're not close misses. I mean, they're missing by so much that the hitters, I would assume, have an easy take.
I think we touched on this a little bit the other night when Tom was here talking about opportunity and how when you get opportunities, the only way to continue to get opportunities and show the staff and show your teammates what you can do and become dependable, the only way to do that is throw strikes. And if you get hit, you get hit. But there's no defense for that base on balls, and they just keep piling up.
Two on, nobody out. 0-1. I know I've used the Sandy Koufax quote a lot, and I'm not suggesting that Youngner's trying to strike everyone out. But the point I'm trying to make is that Sandy Koufax believed his job was to induce contact. He wanted the hitter to hit the ball off the end of the bat or off the bat handle, and preferably at somebody. There's a little tapper, and Dansby had to wait on it and then threw it low at first, and that's going to score a run. Rendon will come home. Robinson all the way around to third base. Espinosa is at first, and looked like Dansby was kind of in between as to what he wanted to do. Looked like he was waiting at the second base bag for the ball to get to him, and it never did.
Yeah, and he might have been better served just to wait and stretch like a first baseman, but he was concerned that he wouldn't get there in time. And they're going to give Espinosa a base hit and an E6 on the throw.
So Dansby Swanson's first error. Washington 4-0 now. 3 have reached in a row against Madison Younginer. And now Tanner Roark will try to lay down another bunt. And he does. And the flip will be to first. Perfect sacrifice. Espinosa at second, Robinson at third, one away, and here's Trey Turner. Turner is 3 for 3. And 17 for his last 40. That's 17 hits in 8 games, by the way. And he scored 13 runs, including 2 more tonight. Flowers can't find it, but no advance. 1 ball, no strikes.
Looks like a choir boy, doesn't he? Out of North Carolina State.
Ground ball, diving stop, Dansby. Throw to first in time. There's a good play. Turner, though, makes contact, and he brings home Clint Robinson with the second run of the inning, and Washington extends the lead to 5-0.
And they were playing Turner to pull pretty hard on the infield, so a nice play to his left to rob him of a ground ball base hit up the middle. '17th RBI for Turner.
So here's Revere. He has a RBI hit and a sacrifice as well. I asked Arbuckle Jenkins to look it up for us. This is the 4th game of the homestand. The Braves bullpen in those 4 games, including Younginer tonight, has issued 15 walks.
Wow.
And coming into play tonight in the last 2 games, as this one's rolled past the pitcher, tough play. Glove flip to first and just an instant late. And all hands are safe. The Nationals are infield hitting the Braves to death tonight. And because of all of those walks, the Braves opponents coming into tonight's game had 37 at bats with runners in scoring position in 2 games. And they've added to that, have the Nationals tonight.
Yeah, so it doesn't take many out of 37 to do a lot of damage. But you're right about the infield hits and a couple dropping out behind third.
But that goes to show you what can happen if you put it in play.
Well, it's just too many walks.
Yeah. In big innings, long innings, Washington sent 8 to the plate in the 5th. Bryce Harper's the 7th man to hit in the 6th. And they've extended their lead to 5-0. Grounded slowly. And the flip to first is in time. And that retires the side. Washington, 2 more runs, 3 more hits. 2 of them didn't leave the infield. It's 5-0. in Atlanta, and that leads us to tonight's Toyota Tweet of the Week. Who's your favorite Braves Hall of Famer and why? Well, we're going to get a lot of great answers on this question because there are so many worthy candidates. Tweet us at Fox Sports South using the hashtag FaveBrave, and your answer could be read during Braves Live post-game show.
Well, while we got a second on that subject, a big tip of the cap to Scott Cunningham and his crew, to Matt Montemayor. They do a great job of putting the Hall of Fame banquet together and running the program. To Carolyn Serra, who is the director of the museum, and her assistant and helper Sam Wallace. They just do great work for that event.
And how about to the fans who showed up? I mean, as you said, there were 750 or so.
Yeah, I think so.
Packed ballroom.
Yeah.
On a work day in Atlanta. And they were a great audience. As Alex grounded to short, Beckham's retired, one away. Gordon's 0 for 2. Here's Dansby Swanson, a little tapper to the mound, his first time up. Dansby had his first 0-fer in the big leagues yesterday. He's up for the second time tonight. He's had a ball bounce off his glove. He's made his first error. Is he getting all that bad stuff out of the way? Now let's have some more good stuff like he had in game 1 where he picked up 2 hits. And fouled back. Strike 1.
You were talking about Roark and how he fits in with this pitching staff for the Nationals. And kind of one of the subtle things that from a statistical standpoint that he does that doesn't rival the other two guys, Scherzer and Strasburg, but he averages over 7 strikeouts per 9 innings. So he's striking out his share of guys too, in addition to all those double plays he gets.
Max Scherzer gets the ball here tomorrow night. Tyrell Jenkins will pitch for the Braves. That's a little low. I'm not certain, but it looked like Max Scherzer might have been keeping the old pitching chart. Got a clipboard on the top step of the dugout.
Yeah, that might be something he does for himself. I like it.
And we really like that kid too.
Yes, we do.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Dansby Swanson. 5-0 Nationals. And a line drive into right, but right at Harper. And this is exactly what we told you Tanner Roark has done with great regularity for the Nationals this year. 7 or more shutout innings 7 times in his first 24 starts. He has 2 outs in the 6th inning with no runs allowed. And Jace Peterson will bat for Madison Youngener. Braves are looking for offense any way they can find it. Jace in the midst of a 3 for 35 slide at the plate.
Season high in walks for Roark is 3, and he's done it several times, but 3 is the most. And he had a 15 strikeout game in 7 innings against Minnesota earlier in the year.
Top of the order is next, but Jace Peterson has to keep this 6th inning alive for the Braves, who are trying to avoid an 8th loss in their last 9 games. And Peterson draws a 5-pitch walk, and the inning is alive. Inciarte has one of the 2 Braves hits.
Okay, that worked. Let's see about homers. Yeah. He hasn't given up a homer in 2 starts. And only 2 in his last 4 starts.
Well, hit it deep enough so that Revere can't catch it, will you? Ender Inciarte with 2 outs. Chaz Rose going to be the next Atlanta pitcher. Swing and a drive hammered deep right field. That ball is gone. There goes the shutout. Dude, what took you so long?
I don't know. Okay, the last time he gave up 2 homers in a game. Well, he just golfed that one. That was down in the zone. Barreled it up. He got out of here in a hurry. I was afraid he didn't hit it high enough.
So Revere and Harper couldn't catch that one. And the Braves have a 3-run deficit now, and Ender Inciarte's 3rd home run of the season. 5-2 game now.
Quick strike to get back in it. A walk and a homer.
And you know d'Arnaud would love to reach to bring Freddie Freeman to the plate.
Just looking at his home runs, he does give them up. Not in bunches necessarily, but 2 in a game. So that's on the verge of happening.
And it's a 4-pitch walk to d'Arnaud. Thank you very much. A walk and a homer. Now a walk to d'Arnaud, and Freddie Freeman is coming up. Robbed his last time up with a remarkable catch. And as Mike Maddox makes his way to the mound, Ben Revere for the moment has already saved 1 run for the Nationals.
Might have been a different ball game were it not for this catch. And he hit the wall hard and still hung on. What great timing.
Unbelievable play. So it's a long meeting. It's just now breaking up, and Freddie Freeman will be the Braves hitter. Action has begun in the Nationals bullpen. Matt Kemp is on deck. A long one would make it a 1-run game.
Trinan again. He was up last night, didn't get in the game.
High fly ball toward left. Jason Worth is slowing. And he's going to make the play, and that will retire the side. Braves get a 2-run homer from Ender Inciarte. That spoils the shutout bid. It's now 5-2 Washington after 6. Through 6 innings of play, and it's time for tonight's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Tonight, the first outing for Julio Teheran in about 3 weeks, and he certainly was missed in rotation. Short outings by the starters, long outings, long innings by the Braves bullpen since the break.
Yeah, 32 games since the break. Starters have gone 6 or more innings only twice. So a heavy workload on the bullpen, and an average of 4.5 walks per 9 innings. Chaz Rowe, 14 games this year. Let's see how many this is with the Braves. This will be number 6.
Chase Peterson stays in the game. He'll be at second base. Gordon Beckham moves over to third base. And Wilson Ramos leads off for the Nationals in the 7th. That missed inside, ball 2. Nice crowd here tonight for the Braves and Nats and Friday night fireworks. Atlanta hoping a comeback is coming. Atlanta's 1-9 against the Nationals this year. And just like that, it's ball 3. 3-0. Jason Worth is next. The pitch is fouled away at the 3-0 green light.
And why not, the way he's been swinging the bat?
Ramos was not an original National. He came over from the Minnesota Twins. At the trading deadline in 2010, Matt Capps went to Minnesota, and Wilson Ramos came to Washington. And he was their everyday guy in 2011. Good pitch. 15 homers, 113 games in 2011. Then just 25 games in 2012, 78 games in 2013. It had a terrifying experience in his native Venezuela in 2011. He was kidnapped. Was abducted for 51 hours and then was freed in the mountains near Montalban by Venezuelan government forces. Was given a clean bill of health.
He was lucky.
Yep. 88 games 2 years ago, 128 last year, and a .229 average. This year, though, he's exploded, hitting .327, the highest average among any major league catcher.
He did a great job right there of fighting off that breaking ball to be able to see another one.
Swing and a miss. Rowe got him. There's a good start to the 7th inning. Part of our big weekend in Atlanta with the Nationals is tomorrow night's post-game concert. Grammy-nominated singer Tori Kelly will be here, part of the Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines Summer Concert Series. Field passes are on sale for $20 each. Get them online at braves.com/Tori Kelly today. Jason Worth is 0 for 3. One ball, no strikes.
Boy, he's got a good slider today. He likes to throw it.
And you can see the late break on that, can't you? One-two count. And Worth drives that one down the right field line. And a fan from Woodstock makes the play. Look how excited she is. Isn't that great?
That's the pass around ball there.
Bouncing ball toward third, foul. Gordon Beckham will flip another one into the stands. I do love it occasionally when the real young kids get a foul ball at a game. And the mom or the dad hands it to him and the little kid looks at it. They take the ball and they just throw it as hard as they can and throw it back onto the field or into the next row. Just great. See so many young fans at the game on a night like tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a pitch. Worth hanging tough. Jason had his share of injury troubles in the early days of his major league career. Remember, he started out as an Oriole, then went to Toronto, the Dodgers in 2004, missed all of 2006 because of injury. As he strikes out here for the 2nd out of the inning. Then his breakthrough seasons came with the Phillies. And then Washington, after the 2010 season, signed him to a long-term contract, and he's been a centerpiece for the Nationals ever since.
Boy, that was a good delivery there. That's exactly where Tyler Flowers wanted it. Got the fastball by him several times tonight.
And so Worth, hitless, his on-base streak might be in big-time jeopardy if they don't turn the lineup around again. As Rendon bats, he singled and scored. And takes a strike.
is some kind of bender he's got working tonight. High target again.
Rendon, the 6th overall pick in the draft 5 years ago out of Rice University. Broke in 2013 with Washington. And a swing and a miss. Row your boat. How about that? He just struck out the side. 5-2, 7th inning stretch. Nationals lead it. It's time for tonight's SunTrust Moments That Matter. It is Braves Hall of Fame weekend, and there's a look at the room, which was filled to capacity to honor Andrew Jones and John Schuerholz, Dale Murphy, Chipper Jones, Tom Glavine, Bobby Cox. Among the dignitaries, Terry McGurk handing the plaque to Andrew Jones, my partner with the suspenders and the atomic wedgie, and John Schuerholz standing ovation as he was honored after his terrific speech today. Two great inductees, a great program, and again, congratulations to you, Joe, and the entire Braves organization for a wonderful day as it is every year.
Thanks. It was fun. It was one of the best ones ever, I think.
So Matt Kemp leads off the Atlanta 7th. Matt's got one of Atlanta's 3 hits. That's all Roark has given up. Ender Inciarte has 2 of the Braves hits. A 2-run homer brought in the lone Atlanta runs. Swing and a line drive hit deep to left. Worth turns and makes the catch on the warning track. A hard hit ball is out number 1.
Too much top spin. That thing, you could see it get to its highest point and then look like a curveball breaking down. Smoked it.
So Matt's been in a Braves uniform, almost 3 weeks now. I'd love to get your perspective on what he has meant to the Braves lineup with Freeman and Markakis surrounding him on the batting card.
I think that says it right there. That's just since August 2nd. A lot of home runs, a lot of RBIs, a lot of opportunities, especially for Nick, batting behind those 2 guys who have been swinging it real well. Freddie's average has been extremely high.
So that's our Home Depot tools from the dugout. It's also been fun watching the other manager have to squirm a bit in the late innings of some of these games for the Braves. Can't just send a lefty out there and try to mow down Markakis and Freeman in order. You've got to worry about Matt Kemp in the middle of that action.
Well, and as you pointed out, it's a real good comment about how it allows Brian Snitker to go left, right, all the way through the middle of his lineup.
Two balls and a strike for Nick Markakis, who's walked and popped out. And Roark drops that in for an even count. This is what Roark does again against the Braves up in Washington. 7 innings, 99 pitches. He'll throw a few more tonight, but he's got a 5-2 lead. He's trying to run his record to 6-1 against the Braves and win his 14th game this year.
Well, we've talked about how Dusty Baker's bullpen, while good at the end now with Melanson, there are some question marks about the setup role from like the 6th, 7th, and 8th. So last night the kid Lopez goes 7, and they had a nice lead, so they got Melanson some work. They didn't need to use him, they did. And tonight,
high pop headed for the stands.
Tonight, depending on what happens, if Roark's able to pitch through the 7th, also they've got a well-rested pen. Short distance to get to your closer.
Sounds like a familiar pattern that happened in Atlanta for a long time, doesn't it? In July 17th, the last time a Braves starter went more than 6 innings. You give Julio a bit of a pass tonight, his first game back from the disabled list. Hopefully Tyrell Jenkins can outduel Max Scherzer here tomorrow night. 7:10 first pitch. Braves live at 6:30. Game 3 of 4 in this series. As Ian Kroll is going to get ready for the 8th, it appears. Fly ball, well hit to right. Harper's going to wave goodbye. Nick Markakis with a solo home run.
His 2nd in 3 games. What was that, the 9th pitch, Chan? He had to earn that one. Boy, that was a high breaking ball and a hard breaking ball.
So what'd you say, Roark will give up games with 2 homers?
Yeah, multiple homers. That's a problem.
Could you work on the lottery numbers during this commercial break? It's coming up tomorrow night. Braves are in the ball game again. It's 5-3. Markakis is homered. NCRT is homered, and Roark is headed for the Washington clubhouse.
Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
All right, Braves are giving the Nationals a finish, 5-3. Couple of home runs hit by Atlanta tonight. They've chased Tanner Roark. And let's talk about a comeback win, shall we? We'd love to do that with you on Braves Live. It's coming up next, and as always is presented by Xfinity. Blake Trinan's on. He's been busy. 55 games now for the Nationals reliever.
He can air it out. Look at that ERA, 199. Ton of strikeouts, 96 to 98 on his fastball. Slider and a changeup. And you know what, Chip? He hasn't given up a home run since July 5th.
Well, Trinan is another in a long line of power arms who have ascended into the upper reaches of Washington's system. He was the hidden gem in the Nationals A's 2013 trade that rendered A.J. Cole and Ian Cole for Michael Morse. Now back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nice crowd tonight, 30,292 at Turner Field. As Blake Trinan, the pride of South Dakota State University, is ahead of Flowers 1-2, and they just missed. Last year, Trinan pitched in 60 games. He's at 55 now, so his workload's going to tick up. But he's been awfully good. The pitch is yanked foul in front of the Nationals dugout. We'll do it again.
Flowers 0 for 1 in his career against Trinan. Guy that's had a lot of success is Matt Kemp, 4 for 6.
That's tipped and caught by Ramos, and Trinan gets his first man. 2 outs. Talk all the time about the even year success of the San Francisco Giants. The Nationals are trying to end some even year frustration when it comes to postseason play. 2012, they clinched their first National League Eastern Division title. They had a great year. Steven Strasburg, Gio Gonzalez, and Bryce Harper had all-star campaigns. But the Nationals blew a 2-run lead in the 9th inning and lost Game 5 of the division series 9-7, ending their first postseason.
Who was that to?
I think that was the Cardinals. That was the Drew Storen mess.
Yeah.
2014. Great year. Nationals clinched their second Eastern Division title, beating the Braves here on September 16th, 3-0. They had the amazing game against the Giants, losing 2-1 in 18 innings, a 6-hour and 23-minute marathon. It tied the Braves and Astros 2005 Game 4 matchup for the longest division series game. But the Giants eliminated them in Game 4 in 2014. So the Nationals have had 2 division winning clubs only to have early playoff frustration. And you know about the Giants in those even years. What happened to them?
And that was before Max Scherzer came along too. Last year was his first year with him.
Bouncing ball up the middle by Beckham. Nice pick at second. Long throw, and what a play. What an unbelievable play by Trey Turner. The Nationals are turning in one of the best defensive games we've seen in a long time. A great play to Rob Gordon Beckham, and the Braves are done in the 7th inning. An off-balance rocket throw to first, and just in time to send us to the 8th. Game tonight.
Oh, that's great.
Braves hit a couple of home runs for that lovely lady and trail the Nationals 5-3 after 7 innings.
She is pretty.
And Ian Kroll, the third Braves reliever to work tonight. Atlanta's going to have to cover 4 innings in relief at least, as Kroll will face the 7, 8, and 9 batters for the Nationals. Robinson, Espinosa, and then the pitcher's slot. That one way inside, ball 1.
Ian's last outing 2 days ago against Minnesota. 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits and a run and a walk.
Bragging about the Nationals' defense in this game, and justifiably so, but don't tell that to Clint Robinson. He's going to talk about Nick Markakis tonight. Robinson with a fly out to right, has walked twice, scored once, and Nick Markakis took away a ball that was over the line in right and brought back what would have been Robinson's 6th home run. And here is that terrific Nick Markakis catch back in the 5th.
Well, it looked like it was a pitch that jammed him, and it didn't. And Nick went up over the padding himself. Back-to-back hitters that were robbed of homers. First it was Freeman, then Robinson.
That's it to the right side. Freeman spun his wheels. Looked like he couldn't decide whether to go for it or not. And by the time he made up his mind, the ball scooted past him into right field.
He kind of froze on it. I don't know if he didn't pick it up off the bat, but didn't move right away.
Ten hits for the Nationals, first tonight for Robinson. That brings up Espinosa. A strikeout, a walk, a stolen base, a run, and an infield hit. What exactly is Danny Espinosa? He's got a lot of power. Doesn't hit for a very high average. In fact, a career .230 hitter in the major leagues. He's had a 21 homer, a 17 homer, a 13 homer, and this year an 18 homer campaign. Danny Espinosa's hit more home runs than any national switch hitter. And joins Evan Longoria, Troy Tulowitzki, and Bobby Crosby as recent Long Beach State shortstops who've made it to the major leagues.
And he's already struck out 121 times this year.
Well, he's got a ways to go if he's going to get to his personal mark. 4 years ago, he struck out 189 times in 594 at bats.
And hit what?
17.
No, I mean average.
Oh, 247.
That's better than I thought.
Yeah, that's higher than his career average. In fact, that's his highest batting average in the major leagues. Washington selected Espinosa in the 3rd round in 2008.
Long Beach State can put out some shortstops. Good baseball school.
One ball, 2 strikes. We are in the 8th inning. 5-3 now. And out of play.
Where is Long Beach State?
Really?
I'm really glad I got that look from you. Made you think.
Yeah. It runs in the family, doesn't it? One time Joe was walking back to the team hotel in St. Louis with my dad, and he looked up and said, "Hey Skip, is that the arch?" And Dad said, "What?"
He said, "Yeah, that's it. It's it." And then I got cussed out.
With probably a very similar look that you just got.
Yeah.
In the booth.
Chan's got the map out over. He's showing me where it is.
Mr. Literal over there. Chan Hartzog. Five runs, 10 hits for Washington, 3 runs, 4 hits for the Braves. 2 of the Atlanta hits left the ballpark. And here we go again with the deep counts. Reds are clobbering the Dodgers 6-1 tonight. That game's in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Giants will take any help they can get from teams playing Los Angeles. San Francisco starts play a half game back in the West. The Giants are home to the Mets. That game will start any minute out at AT&T Park. Steven Matz was supposed to start that game. Shoulder problems for Matz. He won't pitch tonight.
Man. Hate to hear that.
So Seth Lugo is coming on to face Johnny Cueto. Espinosa strikes out. There's the first out of the inning. Asdrubal Cabrera and Yoenis Cespedes are expected to return for the Mets tonight. And Washington goes to the bench. Into the line for Blake Treinen, who pitched 2/3 of an inning of spotless relief. This is Chris Heisey.
Phillies did a good job last night of bouncing back after an early deficit to the Dodgers and coming back to beat them. And tonight they led the Cardinals late, and St. Louis came back to tie them.
That was Adam Morgan and Adam Wainwright tonight. Cardinals trying to stay ahead of the Pirates in the wild card race. Cubs are in Colorado. Cubs are beginning a 10-day 9-game road trip. And Joe Madden doing something interesting. Jason Hayward's not going to play in that Rockies series.
Is that right?
Said they've got left-handed pitchers. They're going to give Jason a break.
I saw some numbers today on Andrew McCutchen since he was benched here in Atlanta. He said about 317 since then.
And keep an eye on the Pirates, who have Garrett Cole facing Tom Kohler tonight. That one gets away, but not far enough. That one's 5-5 in the 9th inning. Miami starting to fade a bit with Giancarlo Stanton out. Marlins are 9.5 back. They've lost 3 in a row, and they're now 2.5 back in the wild card chase. Pittsburgh, a very favorable schedule down the stretch. Buccos are a game out of the wild card, and they've won 31 of 47 career games against the Marlins in Pittsburgh. 2 balls and a strike. Way high, 3-1. That's as high a strike as you can get. And Heisey took it, full count. Tipped and caught. Heisey's retired. So after the leadoff hit, back-to-back strikeouts, and we're back to the top of the order on Trey Turner.
Good work by Ian Kroll.
Rose struck out 3 in a perfect inning. Kroll's got 2 strikeouts. And now Turner is the hitter.
It's 42 strikeouts in 38 2/3 innings for Kroll. And only 12 walks for him.
Nothing in 1, your count. Right after him, it's 0-2. In the Braves' 8th, Dansby Swanson, Jace Peterson, and Ender Inciarte are the scheduled Braves hitters. Matt Belle-Isle is up and throwing in the Nationals' pen.
It's interesting there. Tyler Flowers was kind of giving the location and the pitch call at the same time. He had his glove over kind of behind the foot of Trey Turner, letting Ian know he wanted a back foot slider. Good pitch.
This one pops too far away for Flowers to keep it close by. And Robinson at second on a wild pitch. So a new set of signs with a runner at second and 2 outs.
A lot of scouts that are here getting their first looks not only at Dansby Swanson but at Trey Turner. They may have seen him for an at bat or 2 last September, but not under the circumstances he's playing now.
To third. Long throw. And Freeman tried to stretch, couldn't get it. The ball bounces into the dugout. A run is in. And Turner is on his way to second base. A two-base throwing error on Gordon Beckham, and another example of what havoc speed can cause a defense.
Had to give a little ground on that hop, so he couldn't get as much on the throw, and certainly couldn't get it over there accurately. But you're right, Chip. He knew he didn't have any time to waste. And right off the tip of Freddie's glove.
So Washington with a 3-run lead again brings up Ben Revere. Revere picked up his 23rd RBI in the 5th inning. And a strike. Fly ball left, and Matt Kemp in a step or two, and that will retire the side. A gift run for the Nationals. The throwing error brings home Clint Robinson. Washington extends their lead again to 6-3. Girls at Turner Field tomorrow night. The Braves will take on the Nationals. The ticket package includes a game ticket, pink girls night out sunglasses, and a Braves Navy scarf. Visit Braves.com/GNO. That stands for Girls Night Out, by the way, for more details. 6-3 Washington. Braves have committed 2 errors tonight, so a little more breathing room for Matt Belisle, who's pitching in his 31st game.
And he's been a nice addition to their bullpen over the last couple of years, and this year especially, with a 1.83 ERA. Low numbers against left-handers. 6'4", 225 out of Austin, Texas, and a former Braves farmhand drafted by Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta had a first-round pick that year. I think he was their first pick, but he was in the 2nd round.
And that one downstairs at 92. 1 ball, no strikes for Dansby Swanson. It was tapped to the mound and lined to right. Rifled into left center field. That's going to get down and roll to the wall. Dansby Swanson on his way to second. That's his first extra base hit.
We dropped the barrel on that. Something down, maybe a little bit in. Hammered it into the gap.
So this is the Braves' first at bat of the night with a runner in scoring position. And Jace Peterson will be that batter. Jace walked and scored ahead of Ender Inciarte's 6th inning home run. And in for a strike. It's only a 3-run game.
Yeah. Mostly a 3-pitch pitcher is Belle-Isle. Fastball, slider, curve. Fastball, low 90s. He worked in 2 games at Colorado on this road trip against his old team. 3 1/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts.
Well, that was a big concern for the Nationals coming into the series. Their pen had to pick up a lot of innings in the Mile High City. Espinosa can't handle that. Everybody's safe. That ball seemed to bounce forever. And Peterson's aboard on an error, it appears. And first and third, nobody out.
Second error in as many nights on Espinosa. The ball came up on him and he just kind of scooped it away from him. Right off his wrist.
So Mike Maddox out for a chat. Let's see if he's hands-on with Matt Belle-Isle. As the Braves threatening again here in the 8th inning. Braves Live presented by Xfinity is coming up after Game 2 wraps up here at Turner Field. Again, 30,292, and they're chopping away with the Braves top of the order coming up. Two more hits for Inciarte tonight. His average at .269 for the year.
I don't need to correct something I said earlier about Belle-Isle. This is not his second year with the club. Last year he was with St. Louis and then came to Washington. 34 games with the Cardinals last year and a sub-3 ERA.
1 ball, 1 strike. Pretty pitch on a corner, or close enough. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Make him get the ball up a little bit. He wants a ground ball, wants a sinker in there. Breaking ball.
The throw is going to go to second. That's all Washington gets. A run comes home. Dansby Swanson touches the Pentagon. It makes it a 6-4 game. And now Jeff Francoeur grabs him back. So a 3 RBI night for Inciarte. And Frenchie will bat with 1 in, 1 on, and 1 out. And Dusty Baker will not allow Matt Belle-Isle to see Jeff Francoeur here. So he's going to go to his bullpen. Glover and Melanson were warming up for the Nationals. Melanson had been pitching longest of that duo. It looks like it'll be Glover. An error by Espinosa opens the door for the Braves. It's 6-4.
I want to play on TV, and with a lot of help from the coaches in Curacao and the minor league and the major leagues, I got the opportunity to make it. And when I made it, I told my mom, "Hey, your son is finally on TV," and she go, "Oh, great. Well, I'm going to bingo." She loved bingo, so that's.
That was a side of Andrew Jones I never really knew existed. He's got a very dry, deadpan sense of humor, doesn't he?
That was a great one today. His mom was here for the event, and he was escorting her back to Curacao tonight on a flight. Wonderful that she could be here.
So Jeff Francoeur will face Coda Glover, who's on to pitch. He's advanced 4 levels to the big league since the start of the year. Nothing in 2.
Pretty good slider from Monroe, Oklahoma, and I don't know where that is. Might be a little one.
98-mile-an-hour fastball opens your eyes, doesn't it?
That'll entice you to find out where it is that he's throwing right now.
Excellent control for Glover last year. 38 strikeouts, 2 walks in 30 innings. His first season as a pro player. And that one taken low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Big kid, 6'5", 225-pounder, 8th round pick in 2015.
That is a hard slider.
And Jeff fought off another one. 2-2. Johnson and Ramirez ready in the Atlanta bullpen. Freddie Freeman's on deck. And Jeff's making the kid work. He'll see a 7th pitch. Tapper toward Rendon. That's fair ball. Throw to second. He threw it away. Everybody's safe. And it's the Nationals' turn to have some defensive issues. Rendon threw one away. First and third, one out. Dusty Baker in disbelief. Second error of the inning for the Nationals.
Well, he really bragged on their infield defense last night, and they've made 3 errors in about 12 innings or so since then. That sidearm whip from Rendon nowhere near the bag.
You know, in the early days of the Braves-Nationals rivalry, you saw a lot of plays like that from Ryan Zimmerman, where ball would sail or tail, and somehow, some way, the Braves were able to take advantage. And now, the last man the Nationals want to see in this kind of a situation is the man in the batter's box, and a man with one swing of the bat could turn the game around and into the Braves' favor. And that man is Freddie Freeman, who was robbed in the 4th inning. If you're just joining us, he missed one of the best catches we've seen this year.
Ben Revere on his horse, jumping into the wall and bringing it back. What a play.
So here in the 8th, it's power versus power. And the first pitch to Freeman, line drive, left center field. Let's go to the wall. 1 run scores. Here comes Frenchie. They're going to wave it. The throw to the plate will be cut off. Freddie Freeman has tied the game for the Braves thanks to 2 Washington errors.
You give extra outs, you wind up paying. That was a high heater. First pitch, Freddie was all over it. 57 and 58 on the RBI tally. There's a comeback for the lady watching her first game at age 93.
Now let's see if the Braves can complete the deal and take the lead. An error by Espinosa, a throwing error by Rendon, and a 2-run double by Freddie Freeman. There's only 1 out, and it's now 6-6. Two of the runs are charged to Belle Isle. As the 0-2 pitch coming to Kemp. It's served into shallow right center field, but Turner's going to track that down. And there's the second out of the inning.
When you represent the go-ahead run, you're so tempted on one like that to try to read it and hope that it drops and go ahead and go. But man, with Turner, he's got such great range and has such good speed. You can't do it.
And so you've got Nick Markakis up. We know all about Nick's RBI prowess. We know how good he has been with 2 outs. And what does this say about Dusty Baker and the state of his bullpen with Oliver Perez, the lone lefty? He's not bringing him in to face Markakis. He's leaving the kid right-hander out. Now they'll take the bat out of Nick's hand and get after Tyler Flowers. So that takes care of that strategery. First and second for Atlanta with 2 outs after 3 more sail outside the zone. Games like this are perfect illustration to me of when people say strikeouts don't matter, how crazy that statement is. If you put the ball in play, you never know what might happen.
Put pressure on the defense to make a play. And in this inning, the Nationals have not.
So 3 runs are in for Atlanta. And And Tyler Flowers is the batter. He's the 8th man to hit in the inning. There's that slider.
It's a good one. Great numbers in this spot for Tyler, and it's my thought here that he's pretty good about against hard throwers at shortening up. He's up off the knob of the bat, but in a hole now.
0-2. Quite frankly, for Belle Isle and Glover, it never should have gotten to this. But the Braves have tied it up at 6. And the 0-2 pitch. Fly ball hit toward right and playable for Bryce Harper, who will lead off the 9th for the Nats. Atlanta cashes in 2 Nationals error. An RBI double by Freddie Freeman ties the score. It's 6-6 after 8.
Your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. The Georgia Lottery. And Synovus, the bank of here.
What a crazy final 3 innings we have seen. The 6th, 7th, and 8th. A lot of action. And the Braves have scored 6 runs in their last 3 at-bats. A couple of Nationals errors in the 8th helped us tie the game. And now Jim Johnson is on the hill, and look what he's done since early June.
10 out of 12 save opportunities so far. 30 games, 147 ERA. Stint on the disabled list did him a lot of good. Got his legs under him, as he has told us.
And he'll have to face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters on the Nationals lineup card. It starts with Bryce Harper, who's 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Harper has 64 runs batted in. And the first from Jim is fouled at the plate. Harper had a season for the ages last season for the Nationals. And he rolls over this one to second base. That should be easy. 1 out.
Third time tonight he's rolled over the ball and hit it to second.
Here's Ramos. A double, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. 1-2, no strikes to the Washington catcher. He doubled off Julio Teheran in the first inning. That's the other part of this comeback that's so nice. It gets Julio off the hook. And for Tanner Roark, he's on the other side of that equation. He can't win it.
Right. Braves able to put one of those crooked numbers on the board in the 8th inning thanks to the defensive help from the Nationals. I like it.
A base hit by Ramos the other way. So he's got a 2-hit night. And here's Worth again trying to extend that on base streak. He is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
One of the things I like about Ramos is how he keeps his weight centered over the plate. You rarely see him on his heels. He might chase once in a while trying to expand his zone outside. But man, he can still drive the ball to right field like he did there.
And Dusty Baker will take Ramos out of the game, and he'll bring in another catcher, Pedro Severino, to pinch run for Ramos. And ball 1 to Worth. Washington has Wilmer Defoe left. They have Daniel Murphy left. And they've got pitchers left if they are so inclined. Point being, you don't often see a catcher pinch run for by another catcher.
I was just going to say, Dusty's taking a pretty good chance here, putting his backup catcher in there to run. He's putting a lot of stock in Jason Worth and or Rendon being able to do something to get that go-ahead run across.
1-2 for Worth with 1 out. Pitch. Nearly hit him. You know, Rendon is thinking about redemption. He's on deck.
Wasn't Bryce Harper a catcher in high school and junior college? Maybe he's their emergency guy if they needed one.
Talk about taking a chance. Put him back there. We'll see how it works out. Severino certainly will stay in the game for the bottom of the 9th inning. As Worth awaits a 3-2 pitch. Runner goes. And Worth bounces one toward third. There'll be one play. And the flip to first is in time. And Jason Worth, barring extra innings, will see his on-base streak come to an end. But he moves Severino into scoring position for Rendon. 2 outs. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, Beckham, Swanson, and Jace Peterson, the first 3 scheduled for the Braves.
Rendon saw Johnson last night, drew a walk.
Clint Robinson's on deck. And he's a left-hand hitter. 3-0. Rendon struck out in his last at bat, just the 16th time he struck out in 119 plate appearances of late.
Solid contact hitter with 15 long ones. Be careful here.
Ball 4.
And they were. He just didn't get that breaking ball down.
So a new set of strikes for Clint Robinson. He's walked twice, singled once, scored twice, and nearly hit a 5th inning home run.
He was robbed by Nick Markakis right up over the yellow line. After the wall, got his hand against the fence and then jumped. Well played. Great timing.
Sharply hit, base hit on the first pitch. Streaking around is Severino. He's going to score, and the Nationals have taken the lead right back. So the walk to Rendon, the base hit by Robinson, and the Nationals are up 7-6.
Interesting, isn't it, that both guys that were robbed of home runs have come through with big hits here in the last 2 innings.
Rendon stops at second. Robinson with his 24th RBI. And now Danny Espinosa, the batter, and takes a strike. Braves are staring down the barrel of Mark Melanson for the bottom of the 9th inning. 7-6.
Yeah, this is a shame given the effort the Braves offense put forward to catch up. Just soon wait and see that guy tomorrow.
So at the moment, Coda Glover has a chance for his first big league win in relief tonight. Kid that started the year at Potomac. Now leads 7-6. Far enough for Espinosa. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And headed foul, no play.
Well, the way things have gone tonight, 1 run may not be enough. So hold them right there. Braves have really had it going here in the last 3 innings offensively.
Swing and a miss. Espinosa's retired, and so are the Nationals. A 1-out single, a 2-out walk, and then a Robinson base hit to left gives the Nationals a 7-6 lead heading to the home 9th.
Georgia power. And Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Follow Braves Baseball live with the MLB.com @bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. 7-6. Washington the lead. Rally caps are on here at Turner Field, and all help will be accepted because one of the game's best closers is now on for the Nationals, and that's right-hander Mark Melancon.
He worked an inning last night, gave up a base hit to Chase d'Arnaud, but otherwise didn't have too much trouble in a non-save situation. 6'2", 210 out of Arvada, Colorado.
Gordon Beckham will greet him first. Beckham is 0 for 3 tonight. Swanson and Peterson to follow. Ender and Ciarte lurking fourth. And the first one misses high, ball 1.
Braves touched him for a run on the 13th in Washington.
That was the Yusmeiro Petit game where he tried to throw out a runner at third instead of taking an easy out. Right. That led to a 4-run 9th inning.
Right. Yeah, Melancon was lucky that Ibar tried to go to third and they threw him out.
And was that a 7-6 score too?
Yes.
11 o'clock in Atlanta. 7-6 in the 9th. 2 balls, no strikes.
Gordon's really due. He got robbed of that infield hit when Turner made a great play on him in the 7th inning. He's now 9 for his last 80. That's since the All-Star break.
That's out of play right side, and a fan from Bainbridge is going to come up with that souvenir. And the count now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hanging tough. Nobody on the Braves roster has more than 5 at-bats against Melancon because he's not in the National League East, or wasn't when he was with Pittsburgh.
Tipped and caught. And he got away with one. That ball was up in the zone. And Gordon is retired, 1 away in the 9th. Dansby Swanson's first extra base hit in the major leagues came in his 8th inning at bat. And Dansby scored a run.
And Ciarte, Kemp, and A.J. Pierzynski, all with 5 at-bats, the most on the team.
And for Dansby, that run he scored, also his big league first.
Need a base runner.
Yep. No balls and a strike. And that's punched off the screen. 0-2.
That wasn't a cutter, but this guy throws a ton of them. A little fidgety out there.
That's exactly where Severino wanted the pitch. was a waste pitch. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see what they try to set up now.
Change the eye level, may go to a cutter, another fastball, but a cutter off the plate outside. He wants it down, must be a breaking ball. Yep.
Braves would love to get the lineup to that man. Some work to be done if that's to happen in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball. Espinosa has to charge. He throws on the run and got it. Swanson thought he beat it at first. The Braves might take a look at this one. Bang, bang play for the moment. Swanson's out number 2.
Yeah, I've got to take a look. You got to have a base runner. It's worth it. And I thought he was safe too. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yep, he's going to be safe.
Yeah, not even close. I'm close, but no doubt. Good hustle to get down the line. Put on the bag, ball not even in the glove yet.
Attaway, Dansby. Put it in play. You never know what's going to happen. The crowd's going to react to the replay. They know this call's going to be overturned. And the Braves will have the tying runner aboard with 1 out. This should be about a 5-second review. It is. He's safe. Infield hit. So the Nationals get a taste of what Trey Turner's doing to the rest of the league. So Jace Peterson, he's got some pop. If he could unload, this place will be upside down. And Melanson will have to fidget a bit more with the tying runner aboard.
And Jace saw him last night, grounded out to second on a cutter. Might get another one here. Be nice to pull one in the hole on the right side.
Up and away, ball 1. The other part of this is if you make Melanson work overtime, he might not be available to pitch tomorrow night.
That's why I don't like. It hadn't been that long since he worked, and he worked last night in a game that was 8-2. If nothing else, several guys get to see him in a game that might be tight, which is the case tonight. The cutter. So hopefully that at bat last night for Jace will pay off tonight.
Ender Inciarte is on deck. 1 ball, 1 strike. Perfect pitch on the outside corner.
And that was a dandy.
Severino tried to steal one. Jace saw that one just off the plate.
Another cutter, but too wide this time. This is why they went out and got Melanson, because the guy that they had before was not getting the job done in these close games, and they needed somebody to come in and start nailing it down.
He's trying to track down his 5th save with the Nationals tonight. 2-2 pitch. Swanson leads at first. And Peterson chased one off the plate. And he's retired for out number 2. Second strikeout for Melanson. And the fate of the Braves rests in the hands of Ender Inciarte.
Nice pitch just off the plate.
Well, right man in the right spot.
I'd like him to call for that breaking ball in the dirt again.
Ender's got a single, a 2-run homer. He's reached on a force play. He's knocked in 3 runs tonight. He scored 2 of the Braves' 6, and if he can reach, Adonis Garcia would hit for Jim Johnson. I think Melancon's having trouble seeing the signs.
That looked like the sign that for the pitch that he threw Jace to strike him out.
The Braves would love a repeat of the 6th inning in tonight's 9th from Ender.
Boy, he just drilled this pitch at the knees. Got the bat head down there and golfed it out.
An infield hit for Dansby Swanson gives the Braves some 9th inning hope. 1 ball, 1 strike for Inciarte. Had it covered, but he fouled it off. 1-2.
Watch Melancon's glove. It's like he goes into the glove in the stretch with something other than a fastball grip. And if you see that the fingers on the glove wiggle a little bit, it's like he's gone to a straight 4-seam fastball, which he did there. I don't know if that's going to be consistent. We'll see.
The Braves are down to their last strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Line foul.
You see that little wiggle? I don't know that he does that when he throws that off-speed pitch. And that one, if that was a cutter, it wasn't a very good one. No wiggle there.
I think you're onto something.
Trouble is, I don't know if from the hitter standpoint if you can see that.
All right, let's see what he does with yet another 1-2 pitch. Ground ball toward first. Robinson's got it. Flipped to Melancon at the bag. And the Washington Nationals survived a furious comeback by the Braves in Game 2. Clint Robinson with an RBI single in the 9th inning provides the margin of victory. And the Washington Nationals have won the first 2 games of the series. Tonight's final 7-6. Full recap after a break from Turner Field in Atlanta.